Seclet Mill and Overlay. I think it's in September because our concern with that project was how it coincides with the last run car show. And then I'm pretty sure this one's in October. Yeah.
Okay, we're ready for the city manager updates and reminders.
Well, I don't have a lot of updates tonight, but I do want to, and I'll let Kyle kind of fill you in on what's going on with our water supply right now. But what I'm going to through our water conservation plan, the city manager can implement different stages of water. We have a conservation, a warning, and then basically just kind of shutting everything down. I'd like to implement a kind of a in between water watch and water warning, to where we can kind of really encourage people to conserve at this time, with being hot and dry and a lot of extra water use going on. We need to really pull back because we're constricted as to what we can bring in from our water fields into the water plant and keep up with production. And I'll let Kyle get into that a lot deeper, but anyway, my intent is to implement a kind of an in between there, and I just want to make sure that you guys are okay with that before I do. We'll do some publications and some some notifications on our social media and that type of thing. So.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the commission. So as Randy was talking about within our water system, what I've narrowed it down to here recently, and I believe I've talked about this subject before and brought it up to you in previous budget work sessions, is our source water supply within our water system. From within the plant out to the water system, there's enough capacity and pumping ability to be able to move the water when it's there. Where we're having trouble keeping up is at our source supply. And this is due to a few multitude of reasons. I would say just aging wells, getting them offset. We're in the process of getting them rehabbed. I know I'll more than likely be bringing one before you here soon that has lost a lot of capacity. We had to shut it off, so it needs to be rehabbed and redone. The other reason is the river here, and I don't know if you drove out to see the Arkansas River here lately. It's very low at the moment, I was going to say, and our well field is based off of alluvium that is recharged through the Arkansas River. So whenever that river's low, the recharge rate slows down a lot compared to wet months as well. And then at the end of the day, we're just in the middle of summer usage. People are filling pools, watering grass. Just more water is being used in general throughout the system, putting a little bit of a strain. So that's why Randy and myself are asking people to conserve water a little bit to help us stay at healthy levels. I was going to say, we're not at risk of losing water at the moment. We're not at risk of shutting anybody off or stopping anybody from using water. We're just asking people, as we go through these hotter summer months, periods of more summer peak demand, to do what they can to be able to reduce their water usage.
So
pool closing should help that a little bit, shouldn't it?
Yes. Say the pool closure, and then as people shut off their sprinklers, water in their lines and such.
So we started. Well, we went into a contract with an engineering firm, PEC, last year to do a well field study. So they've already done some tests. They already drilled some test wells out there. You need to do some pump testing yet.
Right.
So we're in the process now of doing all the studies we need to do to figure out what we need to do on the well fields. I mean, we already know we've got, we've been replacing the older wells. We've got some more older wells, but we're doing one well every 2 years because it's $600,000 at the last one we did. So we're working on the problem. We know and we're trying to find additional solutions to it through the study. So it's just a slow process, like we just talked about earlier. Everything we do takes time, and once we identify, hey, we can do this, we're still probably 2 years out before we can actually do anything about it because of the regulatory hurdles we have to jump over and all that kind of thing. So just wanted you guys to be aware of what was going on. And as you've approved the contracts in the past with the engineer, but we're continuing to work on the study. we'll implement some policies that we can do here at this point to, ask people to slow down and try to conserve water and just kind of keep working at it. And along with working with our industries that we've been communicating very strongly with our largest user so that they're aware of where we're at on things. And so we're just doing everything we can to keep water flowing and not harm anybody too bad. So
Is there a way to come up with a target percentage? If we could reduce water usage 15 to 20%, then people can take that into their mind, like my house. I now know rather than watering some of the stuff I'm doing every night, I'm going to go to every other night. That would be a 50% change. Is there a way to get any feel for that?
And really, that's all it takes is just a few, us having to pump just a few less 100 gallons per minute.
400 gallons a minute less.
400 gallons a minute less. It roughly is what it takes. And just a little bit of everybody doing their part would help us easily stay within that. Like I said, we're still comfortable within that, but we like to ask people to conserve where they can.
yeah, last week we had a blip on the radar that caused us to kind of get behind. Well, what we feel happened was so one of the mills are looking at on the East Mills looking at doing some putting in fire suppression, and they needed to know about water flow in the system down there, and so they did a flow test, and it dumped a bunch of water out of the system pretty quickly, which then created now we got to try to catch up with all the other production going on. So there's little things like that going on. You got one industry trying to upgrade their fire for insurance purposes and stuff like that, and you got to do some testing to see where it's at. Well, then that creates a drop in supply and an already stressed situation. So there's all many of these little things going on around that we're trying to balance and keep going. So, but anyway, we want you to be aware of all this. So
Well, it sounds like you guys are on top of it.
Yeah.
It just you get a dry summer and you've got time to get through those wells and everything. It's not
We
going
were
to
blessed early.
Not going to just happen tomorrow. Yeah.
It's just so blessed early.
I think we did this last year too, didn't we? Pretty much the same thing.
yeah, we had some other issues last year, but
I was gonna say we've pretty well worked through what
Yeah.
we can so far. I was gonna say I'm just hitting that well field hard and making sure it gets rehabbed, making sure the capacity on the older wells are there. Doing what we can at the moment. Any other questions?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
that's all about the guys in that.
That's it?
Yeah, the other things are pretty much what we talked about last time. We're still plugging with the fire station design and.
Kyle, I'll do my best just to drink beer instead of water for the next couple of days to help you out.
So when's the splash pad shut down?
We had originally talked about kind of letting it go until maybe mid September. Our thought was it's like on Saturdays and stuff, it would still be warm during early part of September.
So
but
can we adjust that to where,
Just weekend?
like school nights, it doesn't work after like 7 o'clock, and then have the regular
During
hours
school
you
times.
had?
yeah, and actually, with what we're just talking about, that was kind of our plan before we, started having troubles keeping up. It may be we just want to close it down here after school starts and that's what this next week. So
It's tomorrow.
yeah, we may want to just close it down then. But we can talk about that. Look at the usage on it. It doesn't, even though it looks like it uses a lot of water, it really doesn't. But if we're asking everybody to conserve, it's probably
Sure.
so.
Be a good example.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna make people mad no matter what you do, so.
Are we tracking the use there?
Yeah, there's a meter on it.
There's a meter.
All right, items for discussion by city commissioners. Anybody got anything? All right, comments from the audience. Anybody signed up?
Elton Gove would like to speak.
Okay.
Are you sure? Elton Gove would not like to speak.
Speakers want to speak?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's fine.
All right. How about adjournment?
I move that we adjourn for this evening.
Second.
A motion to second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned. Okay, so.